Well, hello everyone. I'm excited. It's it's feedback machine time. It's the first episode. It's not the first feedback stream that I do, but it's the like I've done some for Fractal Sounds. I did some on my channel. Originally, the first one I did was on the Ghost Hack channel a couple years ago. So I used to do these on the Ghost Hack channel. Hey, what's up, MindB? So yeah, I just felt it would make a lot of sense to do some for my own channel, and yeah, to do them here. So if you want to participate, if you want to have, well, there's two ways to participate. First is to submit your track. You can do so. It should be in the description, but I'll post a link. But you can submit your track on the Discord server, the Fractal Sound user community. What? So I'll post a link. Discord makes me feel like a boomer so much. It's like it's the first time I actually feel like not old per se, but like technologically illiterate. But now I'm getting better. So this link should technically bring you to the Discord server of Fractal Sounds user community, and there's a channel there called Feedback Machine. This actually, maybe it would be a good idea to also post the link. Yeah, I'll post that. I need a butler. I need some. I need like a link butler. Stream is live. Boom. Yeah. So you go into the feedback machine channel. You drop your track. When you ask for feedback, and that's not just for now, that's for always. There's two things you need to, well, there's one thing you really need to specify, and it is the current state of the track. Why? Well, because we're not gonna like look at a track link usable. Yeah, I've tried, man, and I've tried, but the I don't know, the I was not able to program the bot, and I just gave up. Maybe maybe I'm just really getting like technologically illiterate. Like I'm focusing on sound design so much that like I'm starting to lose skills in other stuff. But yeah, I've tried the Streambot or something. I think the one you use, and like I'm pretty sure I was like changing the correct thing, but it was not working. So I feel like I tend to give up on stuff that doesn't, the technologies that doesn't work like right off the bat. But yeah, yeah, you use a butler, and it comes from the same word, I guess. But yeah, so like also ADHD really doesn't help. But yeah, I was talking about the feedback machine. You drop your link there. You ask for the state of the track, because we're not gonna listen to a track that is mastered as at the same way that we're gonna listen to a track that is mixed, and also something that is just on the creation phase. There's a lot of stuff, like whenever I compose, and you know I'm not the only one. Like whenever you compose, it's just like you're gonna mix stuff later, and you're gonna take care of some stuff later. But so it makes sense that it's just not mixed yet. But if you want some insights on yeah, that's also the second part. Like if you just mention what you need feedback on and what you want feedback on, because you might not want feedback on everything. But let's say, oh, I want some I want to know more about mixing. I want to better up the mixing job on it. You want to. I don't know what should put after the drop or whatever. So make sure you. Well, you're not. It's not that you're gonna get bad feedback per se, but you're gonna get most out of it if you really put. You really ask for the right thing, if we can say it like this. Okay, so let's start. I think there's more links coming up, but we're gonna start by and a streamable link is great. That's what we that's the best. That's well, okay. All right, that's the easiest thing, but if you're really motivated, you can add, like, and if you want some stuff that for more feedback in regards to mastering and more precise stuff when it comes to mixing and mastering, it's really good to send a file. You know, don't worry, I won't like send them to labels and try to sign it on other names. I won't do that. So yeah, but I'm laughing because it has happened, but not exactly in that way, but it's been known to happen. But yeah, I know better than doing this. But yeah, and I will delete the files and everything. But yeah, it just makes sense to have it in top quality. Anyway, that's pretty much the guidelines for today. Let's start. Hey Nita, what's up? So let's start having some fun. I'm gonna start with this track, which is. I had the link here. Okay, I'm gonna open it. Oh, okay, it's here. It's my just all right. Like the more I look and the more boomer I feel, because I have the Epic browser, privacy browser, but I don't use it. But it's like set up as my main one. So every time the links they open there. Anyway, not relevant. Now this is Devil's Noah, I believe. So that's well, that's also Richard, I think. But I'm gonna call you by Devies, not Devils. Devies Nova. Nice, I like it. Sounds good. And in regards to the feedback, that there was something specific. So yeah, and good job, because it was the first submission ever. That's really like what got the feedback machine going, really. Now there's a lot of action. Also, super quick side note on the feedback machine, like right now I ask for stuff prior to the stream, but it's gonna keep being alive after that. The idea is really to create some kind of recycling machine where people can submit stuff and we give each other feedback. I will participate now. I did not, because I was kind of keeping the comments for the stream, but since there won't be any stream coming in the next weeks, I will participate too. And yeah, that was a side note. Now let's just drop some music, and it's some notes. It is mixed, okay, good to note, and somewhat mastered, so like all mastered with Ozone. I guess it is old school compared to other tracks that will be shared soon. But yeah, it's I like old school. In a way, Psy Goa should be free and come from within. I like that statement. So you follow a template with break around the 2/3 of the track. So beside the sound and mix feel free to share ideas. Perfect. Let's listen to that. Nice, 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 very nice. Um, so just as I know, I'm pretty sure you guys understand, but since we psytrance artists are tortured souls, we make tracks that are 8 minutes long or 7 minutes long, just because I want to be able to give feedback on as many tracks as possible. I will try to skip some parts, but also try to like not lose the key moments. But don't worry if I skip some of the track. It's not because I'm bored. It's not because it's not good or anything. It's really just me trying to win over time. But yeah, I just want that to be known. So really, really cool track. I have some notes here. And also, yeah, everybody feel free to continue provide some feedback, some constructive feedback. That's really great. Yeah. So I want to say nice Naki kick, like the Naki kick, like the Goa kick, which is sounds very like that almost like not cardboardy, but like it's really like Naki kick, and it's honestly it's very hard to do a kick like that, or not necessarily to craft it, because but just to like have it in the track and to make it fit and be used properly. And I think in this track it felt very good. It felt like it was up to place. I Yeah, so also like I wrote it in the chat, but one of the first lead is well, all the leads are fat, but there was one in particular in the first part. I would say I really like the color of it. I felt it was but yeah, fat. Like the texture, it was fat. I say like might be it's good track. Maybe it's missing some sound effect. I realize I've been really focusing on possibly maybe the mixing aspect rather than the composition aspect. Also, I use Sonarworks, so and I really show it whenever I bypass it and whenever I put it back on. Sadly, eventually I will have the other speakers that will have the DSP and the correction right inside the speaker instead of in the system. But right now that's what I have. But I really show it whenever I bypass it. I try to give you a lot of good sounds too, like unaltered. In the notes also, I would maybe go for a rounder low end. I didn't necessarily felt like that it. Not saying it's not missing any sound effect or missing anything, but there's also the whole question of like the Goa style and a bit of old school. It also brings up like mastering wise, like I don't have like the values or anything, but it's like it's with the Goa style, does the Goa artist master with the same standard as, let's say, like the current full on psytrance that is played on main stages and full on and progressive, or it tends to get a bit of like I know you guys you're a couple of Goa artists in there, so let me know like what's the standards. Of course, like, but I don't really know. We could deduct that by listening to some current artists, but is it like as pushed as the current full on? But yeah, I was curious about that. The acid, okay, there's the acid sound somewhere. Yeah, this needs either some EQ or multi-band targeted compression. So like with either multipass or FabFilter MB can do that. You're gonna target some bands and try to control these bands, because there's a bit of like whenever there's but that's the thing with acid, it's there's a lot of high resonance, and so this in some part of the spectrum tends to create some problems, so you really need to like take care of that with the multiband targeted compression or dynamic EQ. If you have Ozone, the dynamic EQ inside Ozone is great for that. And also if you have Sooth 2 or Smooth Operator, that also works. These are, in the end, it's just like different but similar process of just keeping those resonance peaks in checks. For old school, I wouldn't worry too much. For Neo Goa, it will often crisp and loud, mastering like Psy. Okay, so was it it was it was it an attempt to Neo Goa or the just old school style? Because yeah, I think it could be pushed more for like, let's say we go really for like the standard mastering, but for old school it's good. That's pretty much what I have. That's pretty much what I have. I'll hopefully those are because I could elaborate, but on the router low end, there's either you can try some kind of Pultec trick style EQ or just like some actually the Acoustica Choral Baxter. This one is free. It could be nice. Check this one out on the low end. I working with the shelf is really good. Okay, moving on. But really good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. I really like the track, and you nailed definitely nailed the Goa vibes. Okay, so next up is okay. So we have Spin, which I know because he's a student, and so this one, it's a remix of the, you know, there was like the Jira Ballistics, which was a remix contest for Sculpted Records, and a lot of people attempted the remix, and this is a Psytech attempt. So this isn't mixed, and it's the first Psytech track he did. So, and he wants suggestions on improving the Psytech genre. So that's what he wants specific feedback on. So how to make it more Psytech, or how to just enhance that side of things. So let's go. Awesome. Nice. Nice. That's really cool. Like either just time have passed and I've listened to some other like other stuff of you, or maybe it's a bonafide version that I've never heard. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe some just the time just makes it. But let me know. I'm curious. So yes, really cool. So first, I'd say so since the feedback is regarding the Psy Textile, like you've pretty much like you're landed first. You're near the target. Like I would say, if you, like you're in the target for sure. Like so, it's not even a like a question of make like it's Psytech already for sure. But there's for sure there's some details that can help it make it more Psytech. I know you, yeah, you've watched the stream I did on Fractal Mentorships about the Lewis M style where we, and I say that because I actually see some Lewis M style here. But okay, so in there's actually a very easy trick for Psytech that you can do, and it's just like having impacts or stabs with a lot of reverb and atmospheres. You'd be amazed how, and you know we can discuss that in the lesson, but it's like very, it's so easy, but not easy like cheap way. Just it's just very effective, cool way to make that, to make it feel Psytech. And speaking of reverb, I wrote some stuff like I would add a bit more reverb on all of your stuff, but just a bit. Don't drown it in reverb. But and there, I wrote some specific stuff. So plate reverb and springs reverb. You know, I don't know if you know spring reverb, but Canadian Tire, what? What was that? Spring. That's a very Canadian, but it's just some suggestion. Hornet Spring, Canadian Tire. Okay, so there's, yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with Hornet. So there's spring reverb. It's a type of reverb. It's modeled about, and now I'm already feeling myself going into that geeky rabbit hole, but I just want it's a style of reverb that comes from hardware that had springs, but the spring reverb is very there's a very industrial tone, and it's no surprise to it, industrial timbre. There's also and that and plate reverb. So, and there's also this one is free. This one Rev Plate 140 for Psytech techno. I feel it really brings that metallic timbre, which can be really easily used in Psytech. So I'd suggest you put more of that. You know what? That on stabs, it just makes it so. It sounds really good, and it brings that swampy atmosphere, because that's really what Psytech is. You kind of want to bring that swampy atmosphere as much as you want, but there's like psychoacoustic illusion, because the mix is super clean. You don't want the mix to be swampy, but you're creating the illusion that everything it's melting and it's just dirty and you know, swampy. But I could show you the notes I have here. I have nothing to hide, but ice for Psytech Tyke style, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of typo because I'm typing as I listen. Dirty stabs, yeah, swampy ambience. I'm loving the grids and the phrasing of the synths. It keeps my attention, my senses awake, my psyche senses awake, so that's really great. Make sure you keep those pew pew in checks with the channel compressor, and I'm referring to I'm referring to those swirling pew pews. Make sure you keep these in check with a channel compressor, or yeah, simpler way would be that. And there's also, yeah, make sure you check these out. Maybe also a bit more EQing, because but channel compressor, I wrote True Dynamics, just a bit of channel compressor. You're basically doing very similar formula than a bus or glue compressor thing, but just on that channel, so it just keeps it a bit more tucked in the mix. Beef up stabs with you know, your stabs that are mid bass, you can beef them up with multipass distortion or isotope trash, and yeah, sidechain more, a bit more like the glitches. You can sidechain everything, but it's a really yeah, really dope track, and I'm impressed. Let me know, Andrea, if I think I have not heard that version yet, so I would almost I would say, oh, there's one the only thing that in the first section there's like two different bass lines, and in the first part here, the ratio bass and kick is the bass is overpowering everything, but as soon as you're on that second bass line, it's perfect. It's good. So that would be cool if we maybe just go all the way with that project. So let me know in your first in your next lesson. I think we could take this to another level. All right. Yeah. Let's move forward. I want to keep that inclusive. I'm just I know, so I have some lessons coming up with some of these students. So okay, next track. So it's got to be this one. No, okay. So visiter le site. All right. Next up, this is current whip. Missing a lot of things like transitions and tensions, basic arrangement laid out so far. I'm wondering about the structure. Good. Is it working, or is there too many ideas? Does it flow? Also, the last section is super bad. I need to figure out what to do with it. And how does the kick and bass sound? Perfect. We got a lot of stuff to check. Let's fire it up.
Talking in my head. Not in my nature. Not in my nature. Talking in my head.
It's like 20 overlapping conversations that I can't understand in the background while I try to live my life. You push yourself out there, but you rarely see others. I'm turning inside out in a white room that goes on forever. And I'm falling for years. Don't worry. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Got lots of stuff, but lots of cool stuff. I think lots of cool stuff regarding what the type of feedback you ask. Yeah. So first, what I like is I've heard a lot of your tracks, and there's always like the style is recognizable. There's a true signature behind it, and with all the vocal integration, it's very much your style. So, and I think you should keep having your style. That's something that is it's not it's the don't want to sound too bitter or whatever, but I think there's a lot of template stuff going on in that. But I understand, like, people want exposure and sign on labels or whatever, but and just keep doing your style. It's very cool, it's very unique, and like also just the fact that I recognize it, it's good. The everything with the vocal is cool except one integration, but it's like we're gonna talk at the same time about it's gonna connect the points of what you asked for the last section. I think the last section before so from here, so 5:30 to 6:45, it's there's like no ligne directrice. There's no like straightforward like ligne directrice in English. It's there's no lifeline or just direction. But I felt somehow at 6:45 it goes back into some like sense, and the flow is back. It's the flow. But so, and there's one integration at in the end, a vocal integration that I was not really feeling it. The rest was like it felt in the flow. Super, very, very cool introduction. That's very nice. I like the spoken words. For the drop, have you considered? It depends how you want to go in the style, but that might be my progressive style talking, but I would kind of see something about a bit more rising in energy, and then more of some kind of like cliffhanger with elements, just a bit like you know, not, I don't like to say about Protonica style, but just like having just like a progressive, some elements playing, looping, and then coming back, because it just feels semi-climatic, the drop, and I think it could possibly, if you go, it would possibly solve that equation there. Another option is like, I really like that lead. Like I said, we're past 6:45, so it's all good there. So maybe bring more, like maybe even up until like the riser, the build up. Bring some of these elements, or the you know, I don't know, the riff, the melody, some of these elements. Start them earlier. Start building on them earlier in the here, and I think that could easily solve your you know, your questions on the last part. But yeah, or another option, it's like the here just there's like some gating, and I think the gating is not optimal, but if you just try different gating setup, that could also possibly really solve it fairly quickly. So you were asking, the structure before the breakdown feels good, like I didn't felt like any problems per se, so structure is good. Gating, I told that. Yeah, so I think it's fair to say it's one of your best kick and bass so far. It's really good. Also in the mix, like just the global, I think you've improved. I'm really typing fast, but yeah, so you've improved stacking sounds together and keeping them their integrity. That's basically that sentence here. It's basically summarizing like mixing, but yeah, I just feel stuff coexist better together, and we also like it's like stereo image, but not in a type of like spreading, or it's just like there's more presence and depth. So I don't know what you did, but it could be probably a combination of a lot of stuff. Also, just sometimes just a matter of being able to leave sound at their true potential without you know, being able to play them loud. That comes with being able to EQ, and you know, it's all the mixing skills being on point. So that improved a lot. Just a little thing, I don't know, so this is, I think this is not mixed, or maybe at least all mastered, but the kick and bass is really good. But that kick, there's since I only have the SoundCloud link, I cannot give you the frequency per se, but maybe 2K or past 4K. But the kick, on the click, I think if you start pushing it, it's gonna start being a problem. Yeah, so there's an hi-hat on the kick, or the, you know, but it's more like, it's not the problem now, but if you start trying to push, and you know, with mastering processing on it, it can potentially cause problems. So it's more of a check this out, and make sure it's not gonna cause any problem there. But that's pretty much the feedback I have for that. Yeah, and the synths also, they run a bit too low, but it's like the first section of the so yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Really cool track. It's just so nice when you hear like a lot of someone's work and you hear the progression. It's dope. So now it's Mind B turn for Mind B. And let's go. Well, let's read the notes first. It's a finished track. I need to remaster, not loud enough, and I'm afraid the kick and bass is maybe too weak. Cool, perfect. It's gonna be simple stuff to look for.
Scientists believe that psilocybin may dampen the appetite of predatory insects like ants, so that they feel full long before eating their way through the entire mushroom. Humans, on the other hand, well, they trip.
This is sick. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, so multi-persona, like one warning, but like the purpose of today is really like we're listening to music, we give some feedback. So if you start, I don't want to shut everybody's mouth, but just like let's keep it to the point for today. And if it's not the case, well, actually, Mind B is a moderator, so Mind B, if you feel like it needs to be done, you can do the duties. Okay, so speaking of which, yeah, okay, so that was really good, and I don't recall hearing actually some of your music, or I've checked out your kicks, but yeah, okay, lots of stuff. Okay, the super weird, but the first kick transient does not punch through 100%. And that's why you saw I just replayed it, but the very first kick. So I don't know if you hear, but the kick, the click of the kick or something, it doesn't punch through. Maybe it's not, I don't know, you need to check that out. If you've put that might be some compressors, they tend to do that. If you've put a compressor on your kick and bass bus, that might automation stuff. I need to, okay. Well, that does it. Well, I know some compressor they can trigger or whatever, but that happened to me. Like, but is it volume? Is it volume automation for the fade in? Yeah, that might possibly be it. Just make sure the transient pass through. Aside from that, yeah, the kick and bass is really good. There's I don't feel so your initial question was, is it weak? It's not weak, it's punching through, but there's something about the kick, and that's actually, you know, for the Nita's track, the Aneko track, I was saying like pay attention to the kick. Actually, your track kind of has it. But it's, you know what? It's not. It's almost a natural thing. It's a natural reaction. It's one of those. There's some stuff I talk about in you know, the fractal mentorships when in the streams and everything. But it's some push and pull techniques. So of course, like we're pushing a lot, we're saturating stuff a lot. There's a mastering processing. It's gonna make some bad stuff shine, and in most situations, the kick you will have to just keep them in check. So check that. The kick is there's a slicey part that you need to EQ. Like I said, it's a fairly natural reaction to heavy processing, but you need to, and so the kick is too slicey. That's maybe what's preventing that's maybe what's preventing you to really push your kick and bass. I think I suspect that, but it's not too weak per se. But maybe you could. It's how did I verbalize that? But I think it's very good. So I just want to make that clear. You know, it's in the realm of being very good, but you know, it's like it's a curve. Like the closer the higher you go, the more the devil is in the detail. I would, if I had access to like the stems, I could maybe give something more precise. But I would say either try. Do you have like some transient shaper on the bass? If you don't, maybe consider trying that. But it's a super subtle job with multipass. You can just enhance that. I feel like your the kick is good, but with the bass could maybe just explode a bit more. But that's a very hard stuff to really attain because it's really in the details. But if there's no automation, if there's no transient designer with multipass on your bass. Maybe attempt a very subtle transient shape, multi-band transient shaping. Maybe it could give a bit more life not to the kick and bass, not because it lacks it. It's like it has a satisfying like threshold, but you could, I think you could just push it a slightly bit more, if that makes sense. I don't know if you understand my point. The second snare, so there's like 1 2 1 2 snare, 3 4 snare, and the second snare, I feel in the first part, it's kind of fighting a bit with something. I feel like there's like one gated lead, and it's fighting with the snare, and it can be heard because it feels like it's slightly not hitting at the same time. It's very subtle, but there's something about the second snare. I don't know why, but it's not punching. Like it's like 95% clean. It should be 100% clean. But yeah, it just sounds like either you offset, because that's an actual technique with some claps. You can voluntarily offset the clap, and it gives a nice effect like that. So either you did that, or either there's one gated something that is slightly off phase, and it feels but it's not, it's tolerable. Like you could go ahead and be conscious of that and say, yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead with this. But if it's on voluntarily, maybe check that out. Aside from that, yeah, the 3 minutes 20, my favorite section. It's very, very cool. Like I like the phrasing of the synths. I like the energy there. I like the energy pretty much globally towards the whole track, but it's very good. Like it's my favorite section. Transition transition breakdown could be slightly more playful, but again, it's very it's in the details. But I feel when it's here, like it's good. You have like the kick is filtering the stuff, it's leading us towards, but it could be slightly more playful. You can have like a Jedi mind trick here, just the way you enter the breakdown. Either glitch some synths, throw in a fill. I cannot speak about it yet, but stay tuned. There's some stuff coming up very, very, very soon that's gonna help with that. But just actually throw just a little ear candy there, like it. I think it's a really good example. Like it works, like, but if you want to push a bit further, you can have like a bit of ear candy and Jedi mind trick here. But yeah, great stuff. The epic drums, the drums from the breakdown, they're really dope. I really like them, and that spicy, not too slicey. But yeah, I talked about this, but yeah, the breakdown is great. The flow of the track, it's very good. It's some of the strong points of the track. Yeah, and so for the mastering, it's not, you say it's not loud enough. My theory is that maybe like the kick is too slicey, and that could possibly prevent you from pushing it to a louder level without having excessive oversaturation. But that's just a theory. But aside from that, that's really good stuff. Like this very, very clean kick. I mean, aside from the sliciness of the kick, don't get me wrong, it's it's just a little. But honestly, stuff that is at that level, we're just in it's the little things. But really good stuff. Okay, so there's 3 more. No, that's not true. Okay, okay, but I'm taking like no more submission. So the last one is Basil Subkey. Basil Subkey. That's the last submission, but I still have more to go, but I'm not taking more now. So let's this is Space Chimney it's a track from Peter. Sorry, Peter, you were earlier in the list, but I forgot because since you sent me the. But yeah, there's just to make sure. So we're gonna have like a projector track, I believe. Is it or P? No, it's just P. Or but I. Oh yeah, it's projector. P is the name, and projector. Yeah, it's definitely projector. So yeah, and that's gonna be the last track. But there's that, and there's I have 3 other tracks, I think. I feel very organized. Okay, let's listen to that. That's this one. That's Peter, student of mine, and yeah, I think he didn't really specify stuff you wanted feedback on, but we're gonna provide some. Wow, really cool stuff. And was it okay, sorry guys, it was on Sonarworks all the time, but yeah, really cool track. I'm I'm impressed, I gotta say. Um is this Psytech or Xenon Psy? It feels like Psytech, but it's like I would say I'm not versed enough in the Xenon Psy to call it Xenon Psy, but it honestly feels like a lot of stuff from what you can hear on Alpaca. So, but is it? I like I wouldn't say it's not Xenon Psy, but like I said, I'm not versed enough. I think in Xenon, I'm familiar with the vibe, but I feel it's maybe more Psytech. But honestly, I take it with a grain of salt. So I feel like the track. It's pretty much like, okay, composition wise, I don't feel it's lacking anything in the creative side of things. Aside maybe from, I think, the intro. I would say maybe just it might be a boring suggestion, but maybe make it slightly more template. In a sense, I think usually Psytech tracks they start with less stuff. The base is not there yet, and you would think like that okay, making stuff template, it's boring or it's not useful or it's anti-creative, but really not that much, because you really need to take into account that the creativity will start more here, or just like when the song really kicks in. But introduction and outros are important, because sometimes that can be the difference between your track being played by a big artist and not, because your tracks needs to be playable and mixable and not be a headache. Now, I'm really not saying that this one is a headache, but usually like I feel almost like the outro is a bit more template than the intro. I would just start maybe with no bass yet, and bring the bass. Just take the structure of a track that is a standard for the label you want, but it's honestly, it's really just the intro. But aside from that, like, the creative stuff in there is amazing. We discussed about it in the chat. Yes, there's a lot of call and response, which is really cool, and that's something I'm trying to push a lot. And you know, Andrea, we already discussed about that. You know, Andrea, we listened to your track earlier, but this could be a good inspiration. Actually, you have a lot of cool stuff in there, but if you want to take it a notch, you really have like that call and response here. Also the swing, the swing, the groove. Yes, there's a groove, but the swing is like the way that it's the groove in the percussions, you know. That is a very, very strong point. It's also something that is very present in Psytech and music like that, so that's really great. Really positive point. So still in those lines, what do I have? Okay, so I have sometimes the kick. I just feel, by the way, that this track, I would consider it done, like, creatively. All you need to do is mix it and master this track, or get it mixed and mastered, but that's what is at this time needs to be done. Yeah, the groove is epic. The nice pitch wobble feeling in the bass. Like I said, playful phrasing of the synths and perks. Nice call and response. Kick is not punching through 100% of the time. That's some mixing thing. It's not like completely off balance, but it's really just like the kick needs to be punched in. And I don't think, you know, with the mixing, that stuff, that's the point. We perceive the kick as not punching through 100% at the time, and you know, you would be wrong to think that what you then need to do is put more punch on the kick. That's the thing, and that I think that right there is when people struggle a lot with mixing. It's like the problem, kick is not punching through enough, but the solution is not to make the kick more punchy. It's to contain just contain the mix and make everything contained so the kick feels like it's punching through. But that's really where mixing comes in play. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to explain. It's like sometimes, like, there's a saying. Quand le sage pointe la ligne. Okay, so they're in French, okay, but I'm possibly going to translate, or maybe someone can translate it, but so it's quand le sage désigne la lune, l'idiot regarde le doigt. So what I mean, when the sage, what's sage? The the knowledge dude, what is it, like when this sage or points the moon, the idiot looks at the finger. Not, you know, it's just a saying, but not necessarily. It's just, you have to think when you don't know mixing, you kind of you're idiot, and you're that doesn't sound well translated. That's not reunited, but it means like when you don't know what you're looking for, you might be under the illusion right now that like the kick is not punching enough, so it's not punchy enough. But really, that's not it. It's like it's like the opposite. Kick is punching enough, but it's getting overpowered by the other stuff. Yeah, sorry, that it's really cool. It's really cool in French, but the translation is kind of felt rude for reasons. Nobody's an idiot, but it's a metaphor about not looking at the correct stuff. You know, being under the illusion of something is causing something. Well, it is not. Yeah. So in regards to mixing, if we so proper bus compression, or if there's already some bus compression, needs to be a bit done better, and maybe clap slightly more present. But that's pretty much it. There's just like, I just feel it. There's needs to be a mixing job. I don't know how mixed it is and how or not mixed it is. Marianne, I don't know what this is. What it is actually? Is it like the website felt like a magazine for women or something? But oh, maybe you can help translate. But I'm sure you get it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, it's really cool track, Peter. I know finishing tracks sometimes it's a challenge for some of you, but this should really get finished. Like, this could sign on Alpaca Records or the Shadow Wolf or Cubic Recordings. Cubics. Yeah, this could sign on a decent, really cool Psytech label. Okay, if mixed properly. So Basilisk, you submitted 2 stuff, so I'm gonna listen to the first one, and I'm gonna stream the first one. The second one I'm gonna answer in comments in the next days, but I'm only going to stream one because of time, because I want to be able to. And next up is Projector, John Waite, and I think that's gonna be pretty much it. So now We Shall Prevail, Basilisk. So the notes. I would like some general feedback, musical composition as well as mixing wise. Perfect. We're gonna do that, my friend. It's a French newspaper. Oh, okay, yeah, good stuff, Peter. This track, I don't want to put any pressure, but it should really, eventually it needs to end up in a finished project. I'm sure you could submit and sign on a good Psytech label. So good job. Yeah, really nice stuff. I wrote a couple of notes. I said, okay, well, but there's no particular order, but I think I'll start with well, the positive, like loving the stab. There's a stab at some point. I think it's yeah. The not the grumpy stab, but like the growly stab more. I like it a lot. It's really nice. I said this could end up on Altar Records, like I believe, like in a finished state. I love the gated melodies, and actually that brings me to the power layering point. There's some power layering techniques. I don't know if you. It's really It's really a different world, but I have yeah, it's like growly. I have a friend, and his name is it's not Eli Tomac, but it's Tomac. Maybe yeah. It's super cool dude. He's producing progressive trance, so we're like a state of trance type stuff, but it's just there's something that I've known for a couple years now, like many years I would say, and I learned it from and developed it from talking with Alex Tomac, and it's some you can listen to some of his track. I won't play it for copyright purposes. Sorry, sometimes like the language barrier really gets me, but for copyright purposes. But he has like incredible pads, incredible trance pads, and you would think that like a non-informed ear would think, oh my god, that's one pad, but that's actually there are tons of layers of pads, but they're just so well layered. So yeah, power layering, because in your track, I really like the gated melodies, but I think you could stack even more stuff. But the power layering techniques for more psychedelic stuff is different, because you got more, maybe some of that are gonna have polyrhythmics gating, playing with one another. Sometimes it's gonna be different filtering actions, like very similar, same melodies for sure, same MIDI, same melodies, but different filtering, playing, swirling together. But that's all like power layering. So I feel like in this track there's more room for more layers if you know how to layer them properly. So but what's in there currently is good. It's just like you could reach more, like just higher level with that. Stem mixing, stem mastering. Do you know what this is? Do you do it? And if you do, but I feel like there's some stuff. There's some stuff that comes out a bit too loud, and other not so much. If you do stem mastering or stem mixing, I would say let's start with stem mixing. But if you bring in some stems, the thing is that it can help you visually see some stuff that might be too loud. So yeah, don't know if you do it, but if you don't, that could be something really useful and a really good way to work. If you want more info, we can always have a chat on it if you want to learn. But that's basically it. Oh, slicey kick, yeah. This one also has a bit of a slicey kick, but that's, like I said, it's very common with the Psy style kicks. So check that out. I think, okay guys, I think maybe let's try to demonstrate. Next up is the projector track, but since I've spoken about it a couple times, I haven't imported it to stems yet. Okay, well, I recommend doing that. So let's take a Camphor Psytrance kicks and yeah. Oh yes. That's what we need for our example. Sorry about the double mic. I'm just gonna mute myself soon. But I'll show you. I will put overemphasis on what is the problem. And the thing is, like, when it's not pushed or saturated, it's not a problem. But we're gonna simulate like what's the effect of mastering processing or just like saturation, and you're gonna see that it puts emphasis on the problem. Okay, so here I'm trying to simulate the effect I have of clipping, and it's not like, it's not so worse. Just give me a moment. All right, so yeah, I'm just like re-emphasizing, but yeah, something I did is like I tried to simulate the pressure of mastering type compression. That's not compression, but it's like maximizer, so kind of is, but just like the clipping, or just the mastering processing type, and I over accentuate these frequency, and that's that kind of sliciness that you need to pay attention to, because all the sides, that's why I chose like a vintage style kicks. But anytime you choose one of these style kicks, you need to pay attention to that, because they all have this slicey characteristic in the sound design of it, and sometimes that pops out. So you need to check this out. For this track, yeah, slicey kick, that's what I meant. So, but yeah, like I said, this honestly, when I say that, I'm not buttering up anyone. I honestly, this in the ended state with all these changes, that could end up on I could see that on Alto Records. So that's really good. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully that help power layering. Like, if you feel it, investigate all that. Like I said, I would just stack more stuff in there, but it would just be all layers and swirling stuff interacting together, all with the melody and the riff you have already. It's very good. So hopefully that helped. Now the projector track, I'm gonna go ahead and download it. Okay. Oh, it's working. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, internet is working. So it's gonna be available in a couple seconds. And also I'm gonna just take the opportunity to go ahead and fetch the John Waite track, Dusk. That's gonna be we're gonna end up with the John Waite. So, all right, should be somewhere here. All right, so just want to re-listen to, and again, I just want to make sure that the master channel is clean there's nothing, but I might bring up adaptar metric. And I'm gonna run this one pretty much with a lot of Sonarworks since the but feel free to give some feedback regarding that. But sound design composition is good. Like some words on a mix and master, as the sound system is not perfect. Yeah, it's always just good to have another set of speakers, another set of ears for sure. So let's listen to that.
Somebody forces you to think about it and go through and say, there's the middle state. Then you get beyond that.
Nice, nice, really cool track. Yeah, that's sick, man. The I think like I wrote FM metallic leads are very cool, smooth texture yet crispy, and I was on that window and I go to the other window and it's like Mindbee says like I love this lead pretty much like the same the same moment, so that's really cool. Yeah, so mixing wise, I think it's you know, I always say like with my students, I always say there's like two of the head tilt. I don't know. Yeah, it's you you'll know, but nothing scary. You just I was trying to really to pinpoint something, but there's always like there's two levels of reviewing stuff. There's always like the first level is just by hear. So usually with people that starts with you can review stuff just by listening and you can pinpoint some problems, and then the next level is like you need to put it's like referencing wise, like you need to put some stuff beside it to really spot some problems. This track it's almost on that level in a sense like so far the mixing and mastering sounds good. Like if I were to in French like chercher des bébites, like if I really want to look for specific problems, like I would need to put it side by side to a reference track, because just by here I don't hear anything except your kick is it's very subtle, it's super slightly oversaturating, but it's just a bit like it's we can perceive it. I can perceive it. It's just a bit over saturating, but it's very subtle. That's why I was trying to sort of spot it. But also I have some questions because honestly, like the track is very, very loud. That if you're okay with sharing that information, chercher des poux dans la tête. Yeah, it's like looking for bugs. Exactement, ouais. Au Québec, c'est chercher des bébites. Mais yeah, so it's like it's if you're okay sharing the which was the reference track that you use, because I'd be curious if it's that loud, because like I was getting some readings of like the short term of minus 5.2 LUFS, while usually what I'm used to see is more like gravitating towards minus 6.0 LUFS on short term, but I'm used to a lot of progressive, so progressive psychedelic trance and some other stuff. So that's the question I have. So maybe your reference track was at the same loudness and you tried to reach the same. I feel like you could I think that would solve the issues of their kick oversaturating. My opinion is you could lay down a bit on the, I don't know if you're using a clipper or a maximizer or you know what's your poison, but I feel you could chill a bit to chill it back to minus 6 short term, which is not that huge, but possibly that would solve the oversaturating kick, and that you would gain a bit of because the dynamic range is fairly fairly squashed even for that type of music. So I just feel with leaning back a bit on the processing, you would still get a very loud track, fairly competitive track, standardized, but you would not have your or if you really want to keep it, let's say your reference track is at the exact same level, because that's the thing. I don't know, I'm not necessarily saying that you're referencing in a faulty way, but I go comp, clipper, master limiter, and I can turn a bit lower the clipper. Yeah, that would be maybe, yeah. Or yeah, it's you know your chain better than mine. Can't find reference track anymore. Yeah, I honestly feel like if you're just gonna hit the short term at minus 6, you're gonna have something really still very standardized, still very loud, yet it might, yeah, that's what I would suggest. But aside from that, it's really really cool stuff. Super flowy. I've not heard anything that I felt like I wanted to EQ or anything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Really really great track. Is there something yeah. Also, maybe, let's say, for, I would be surprised, but let's say you find the reference track and it is, you need to keep that exact same level. I would say just maybe try switching the clipping algorithm, or the, try switching your chain. But so far so good. So far so very good. But yeah, cool stuff. Last but not the least, but yeah. So before we listen to the last track, first of all, thank you everyone for submitting. That's really nice. Like, it takes it takes something to like share your music publicly, and you're basically I know there's like some other YouTubers that like they do some feedback and they have a bit more like roasty, humoristic approach. It's not really what I strive for, and also I feel like your vibe attracts your tribe. So, and the vibe that I want to put out and a track is really just like helpful. And also that's the idea with the Discord. If you're not yet on the Discord server, it launched this week. Fairly happy of how it launched, and yeah, it's supposed to be in the description. It's the Fractal Sounds community, user community. And if there's some stuff we discussed today and you want to take it further, I'm launching very soon. It's currently alpha testing the fractal mentorships. There's a lot of cool stuff there, but really I don't want this to feel like I want you to bring you behind a paywall, because really it's just there if you want to take things further. But aside from that, the Discord, it's free. It's I want it to be a culture of producers helping each other. I've had like there's some people that told me like they feel like it's lacking a good server where people are respectful, and apparently there's a lot of server where the atmosphere is so. I really want to create that culture of learning, and you can be there, gravitate towards, and it's there. I want to do that on a regular basis. But yeah, if you feel you want to take things further, we can always check it out on a one-to-one. And it's just that there's feedback, there's direct support. It's just like instantaneous. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. But feel free to please join the Discord and share the good vibes and share the helpful. And yeah, that's really the culture I want to cultivate and bring forward. But I'm super happy. There was a lot of my students that contributed to tracks. So I feel like the stuff is rolling. Thanks for the video feedback, and I enjoy listening to all the tracks. Yeah. Also, like I said, the feedback machine. I'm gonna show it here, but the feedback machine, okay, channel. It's gonna continue being alive. Now, before the next feedback stream is going to be in somewhere between 2 weeks and 4 weeks, but this is still, the feedback machine is still alive. You can ask for feedback. Please give a good get a good feedback karma. So take as much as you give. Hey, Doug Diamond. Well, there's gonna be other ones, but and if you have a track you want some feedback on, jump over to the server. Dan started real hurdy. Yeah, this one. So yeah, like I said, if you want some feedback, you can still have it. Participate to the feedback machine on Discord. And yeah, let's listen to the John Waite track. From what I've heard, it's very it's in composition process, not mix. It's like he's filling up the track. Awesome. Working for me, John. Nice chilled tune to drink my first coffee too. Yeah, it's awesome. But so if Stony is your name Stony, is it just coffee or it's like a wake and bake track, is it? Or is this I I don't know, man. Not judging. I'm just thinking out loud. Is it like a joint and coffee or pleasure, good morning. Yeah, and John actually he has a PsyTech project called Id Filter, so that's like a more prog project, almost electronica kind of, but yeah, really chill tune, perfect closing track. Um, I would say, and I think it's actively being worked on, so there's still a lot of. A bit early for wake and bake. Gotta wait for the missus to go, the Miss House's to go to work. Yeah, I see. It depends. Everybody. I personally am not a big weed guy. It's not a good fit. But the coffee, ooh, that's my jam. Yeah. So I feel there's like there's a really good base foundation for a track. There's still a lot of room in the high frequencies for some synths, some other layers. I'm hearing like almost dreamy pads, gated layers, vocal gated stuff, but still in the back, like still not going like up front and stealing the show, but just being there, you know. So yeah, that's what I wrote, and maybe could be slightly less longer, but with before chopping, I would wait to hear like the full, what would be considered full version. Maybe with all the stuff, it would not feel long, but at this stage, maybe like I think a 5 minute 30 track would be very good, but yeah, it depends. But very chill, the very prog. The goal is definitely there. So keep me updated with the next versions. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna have to go. Great stream, dude. Thanks for participating. But the timing is good. That's pretty much the end. So thanks everyone. Yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you're on the Discord. I have there's some free stuff too. There's some the acid packs, acid wave tools, acid presets. A lot of cool stuff coming up. Thanks everybody for participating to the stream, and yeah, stay tuned. Got a video coming up tomorrow on the channel, and it's something that I can't talk about until tomorrow, but it's gonna be revealed in a video. Something I had the chance to have access to before it's. So yeah, there's something new coming up tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow. So yeah, don't miss that. Subscribe if you haven't, and see ya everyone. Gonna wish you happy producing.